Let's go. Come on. This forever. No surrender.
You know, yeah, this right here forever.
Hello and welcome to another edition of MMA Uncaged, episode 3, proudly brought to you by Ginger Fox Coffee, guaranteed to make you as clever as a fox. Check out gingerfoxcoffee.com for more details. Joining me, as always, Garreth Soldier Boy McClellan. But before we get to the introductions, Garreth, it has been an interesting week, and we've got to give a shout out to the EFC fighters, athletes all over South Africa doing their bit during this COVID-19 pandemic, handing out food parcels. It's really great to see. No UFC this weekend. That's passed. Now we've got more UFC coming up, of course. But Jon Jones and our favorite, Francis Ngannou, certainly had people excited, didn't they?
Yeah, man, listen, I was hoping that we were going to get to see some skull cracking, and we didn't. But I suppose that's the time we're in at the moment. We just have to hold thumbs and wait. There's a card coming up soon. Main fight is quite interesting. I like that Gilbert Burns. I think he's a talented kid, and he's not afraid to take on the old dogs. And you got to have a certain charisma about yourself to be able to get in there and feel comfortable with legends. And he showed that against Damian Maia. His finish of Damian Maia was impeccable. Yeah, the news, the hype, there's quite a lot. Some exciting stuff there. Man, I would love to see Francis Ngannou fight Jon Jones. I think it would be a cracker, because I think if there's anybody who could negotiate that power and still be super technical and still control the whole environment, it's Jon Jones. I mean, he's proved it time and time again. He's stood in there with some serious heavy hitters, and he's just really taken those guys to school. You saw what he did to Santos. But I don't know. Francis is man. It's like sitting in front of the Grim Reaper.
Garreth, before we get to our guest on this, what shall we say, lockdown edition, as we continue into week 3050 of the lockdown in South Africa, the heavy hitters have been getting Twitter abuzz. We've got Stipe Miocic, who can't train at the moment, saying that he would rather be facing DC and Daniel Cormier. That means that we could well see Ngannou and Jones go head-to-head.
Well, listen, I think that there's a fight that's definitely going to happen. I think it's kind of just, again, it's making each party happy. I think that's each guy wants to know that he's being looked after. You know, fighters can be very temperamental, and then the higher we climb the ladder, the more we think we deserve more, and we dig our heels in. But look, I think that little quadrant of fighters poses something very interesting, because I mean, here we go, we get a DC Stipe wins. Does he retire? Does he stay in? Does he relinquish? DC wins. Does he stay? Same questions get asked of him. All of a sudden, you got Ngannou and Jon Jones. Jon Jones dispatches him. Oh, hi DC. Hi Teletubby. You know, starts throwing the verbal abuse around, and I think that would probably be one of the most epic battles, just because of the history. And then it's different, because I think there at that level, DC is just a different guy. He's a different fighter. He possesses different power. And then, of course, just the strength comes into his wrestling, and he hasn't depleted himself. He's not feeling weak. He's not having to manage himself. You know, he can just get in and do his job. How does that then come up against a guy now who's picked up the weight? You move different when you're heavier. You don't have the same ability to react as quick as what you do. So, yeah, a lot of questions get posed in that little foursome they got going over there.
Garreth, obviously we all want to see the heavyweight stand and bang. That's what we want to see. It puts bums on seats, gets people excited. I think before we get into that, let's introduce our guest. He's a man who's come all the way from Zimbabwe. He's lived on the streets of Cape Town. He's been through all sorts of turmoil and he's fought his way to the top of the welterweight pile at the EFC. He is the champion of the welterweight division, Themba the Answer Gorimbo. But he's not done yet. He's got his sights set on the UFC, and he has laser-like focus on getting across and fighting in the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Garreth, what do you think of, or what do you make of Themba? Because he's a stellar athlete and he's a formidable opponent.
Look, I think I've had the privilege of spending a lot of time around Thames. We go way back. Mr. Gorimbo.
What's happening, Garreth? McKillen?
We were just talking about you. And I was just saying that, I've been very fortunate to be around you and through your whole career and see you progress. And, I don't think a lot of people understand where you've come from and what you've been through and what you've had to endure to get to the level that you're at. And that's, to me, is the most incredible story. I mean, it's truly inspirational for anybody that's in this industry. I go through my career and I think, I was an inspiration to so many, but the kind of stuff that you've achieved, Thames, is just a remarkable thing. And your passion and your desire to just be better is really unmatched in many circles. And I think that comes from your relationship with Themba, and we know what kind of a great champion he was and how he led from the front in terms of his work ethic. And I think that shows in you as well. Yeah, I think it's exciting. I think we've seen these African fighters just come and they're making noise and they're just destroying everything that's in their path, and they're putting their hands up to the world and saying, hey, don't count us out. Just because we're from a country that doesn't have or a continent that doesn't have what you have in terms of financial backing, and that doesn't mean we're not killers at heart and we're not able to work hard. So I'm excited for Thames. I'm really keen to see what he does next. I remember Themba.
Thank you, Garreth, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I remember Themba sleeping under the cage. You remember those days? I mean, he went on a cold floor, under a cage in a gym, just because he had this dream of himself, and he's never given up on that. And that's what I think most fighters need to take an example from.
Yeah, thank you very much, Garreth, man. I also take inspiration from you, yourself, and Demat. You are there. How's size? How are you, man?
I'm good, thank you, Themba. I see the nice goatees coming on there.
Yeah, bro. There's no barbers open, But I'll get this done soon. But I don't have time is limited now, I'm working too much. But yeah, like I said to you, for me to come here to Johannesburg. Can you hear me?
Yeah, the Themba, the goatee looks good.
Hey, bro, I look old with this thing. No, so I was saying to you, for me, I always told you that the reason why I had to move from Cape Town to here, it was because I wanted to train with yourself, Demat, and Costa Yanu, because you guys were the champions then, and I wanted to see what type of work ethic I need to put into, because I always knew that I worked hard when I was in Cape Town, but when you're working hard and you don't really see champions around you, you kind of think, okay, I'm working hard, but what about the champions? What are they doing? So that's when I made a decision that, I need to go and train with these guys and, see where I am as a person, as an athlete. And that's, you guys made me come here and I appreciate that. I'll take this forever and it will be something that I will always say. I moved to Johannesburg because I wanted to train with yourself, Demat, and Costa Yano, and I'm here and I'm going where I will go because I moved to Johannesburg to train with you guys.
I'm curious, Themba. I mean, your move has clearly paid off because you're the champ, and you've worked hard.
Don't
and you've
think I am the champ anymore,
Well, I mean, the record will put it that you've claimed the belt. You got that black and gold strap, and you defended it.
Yeah.
So wherever it needs now is another story. But let's go back to those days where you moved up to Joburg. I mean, how were you welcomed into the gym? How did you feel? Because it must be intimidating with a guy like Soldier Boy, Demat Penna, Costa Yanu in the gym, setting the bar so high. Wasn't it intimidating at that time?
For me, you know, like I was not intimidated, but it was hard for me, you know, like obviously, like I'm moving for the first time from a comfort zone, which was Cape Town then, to come here to Johannesburg with the unknown and having to live in the gym. I've never lived in the gym before that, but I made that sacrifice that, you know what, whatever it takes for me to be where I want to be, I'll do it. And when I moved here, like the guys were welcoming to me, you know, like everybody that was there were welcome, like they were all cool guys. And we took it from there. Like I was here for, I think for a week. Then I got injured. I had a shoulder injury. So I trained for a week. My first sparring session, I got my shoulder dislocated, so I couldn't train anymore. Then I had to do the surgery, organize the surgery. Then I had to go back to Cape Town for 3 months. So it was tough and okay at the same time, man.
So where are you now, Themba, in terms of your career? Because when I interviewed you for CGTN recently, you set your sights on the UFC, and I mean, Garreth, I don't know if you knew this, but he was Zimbabwe's Sportsman of the Year. I mean, for his achievements, so he's recognized in his home country.
I did see that, and that's the amazing thing is like for Themba's story to say he was now Zimbabwe Sportsman of the Year and receive that accolade it's a phenomenal thing. I mean, you can't deny what he's achieved when he does things like that, and it just means that he's set for so much more. I mean, I know how hard he works. We often chat every now and again. Yeah, I'll see him putting in the yards, and I'll drop him a note on the Insta or something. But you know, it's so hard when you do become a champion, and you so often go, oh, you know, okay, I'm here, and what's next? You know, you kind of start to lose that drive, and your focus shifts a little bit, and you know,
I'm not losing that, Garreth.
You don't see that. You don't see that with Thames. He's 100% invested in his dream, and the reality is that he'll achieve his dream just because of how driven he is.
Yeah, like for me, size, like my focus is UFC, and it's going to happen straight after this whole thing is done. Obviously, we are in a circumstance where we are forced to be where we are. We can't be moving around and doing anything. But yeah, man, my next fight won't be here in South Africa, unfortunately. I will bring. I'm 100% sure that when I get my title shot in the UFC, it will be in Africa. Yeah, that's how I see it. And you know, like I say, like Garreth said, like where you put your energy, that's where like where you put your energy and focus, that's where you're going to go. You know, like my dedication, my hard work, it's all focused on one thing, that is to become the first African that lives and train in Africa to become a UFC champion, to go all the way without, you know, like having to go and train overseas. Like, not because of ego, I don't want to go and train overseas. I can go and train overseas. I've been offered my manager, Maukikawa, from a first round management. He has offered me to go and live in Florida and train there. But I've been honest with him. I told him, listen, yeah, I would love to, but I can't, because I'll be betraying myself and the people that I made a promise that I want to be the first guy that will go all the way and still lives and train in Africa. You know, like I just want my main thing is to inspire people from Africa. You know, that hey, we don't have to go there, like not for ego or anything, but we don't have to really go there to go all the way and become champions in the UFC. You know, like now knowledge is everywhere on the internet. If you seek it, you'll find it. And for me, that's exactly what I do every single day. After this, I'm actually going to go home now. After this, then I do my research on things, certain things that we need to work on tomorrow, you know, like just seek that knowledge and come and apply it here in the gym, then work as hard as I can, and I will achieve all my dreams. I believe so, and I see that. And I want someone else to be able to do that from Africa after me and say, you know what, even before me if they can, you know, like, but the race is on, and I'm not dropping anytime soon, man. I'm going to go all the way. I want to be the guy. I want to become the first guy who trains and lives in Africa, who has never trained anywhere else. I've never trained anywhere else. I've trained only in Africa. I might train with guys from Brazil here and there and that stuff like that. But I want to go all the way. If I need someone that wants, let's say a wrestler or something, I might bring them here from whatever country they come from, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to do it and do it from here.
So Tims,
yeah, carry on, Gareth.
So I got a question for you, Tims. CS and I were chatting about it a bit earlier. You know, you have this talk of UFC and you've been very vocal in your call outs of the current welterweight champion
Kamaru.
Yeah. So for me, we know that you're not a big welterweight. You walk around at about 78, 79 kilos. You previously were fighting at welterweight. Where do you see yourself in the UFC? What division? And then how do you see the threat of much larger welterweights, if that's the space that you want to be in?
For me, like, I used to walk around 78, 79, but now I walk around 85 because throughout this whole lockdown, I know where I'm heading, and I know the guys will be bigger. And obviously skill there in the UFC, probably it's more the same level. It's about the guy who wants it. That's the guy that wins. So for me, I don't want to make another man feel like he's stronger than me or anything is bigger than me. So I've picked up a bit more weight now. I'm walking around 85. I've been lifting a lot and doing conditioning a lot throughout this whole lockdown. So I've gained muscle mass, and my division will be welterweight. When I get in the UFC, my division will be welterweight. For the first fight, I don't care which division they'll give me. You know, like if they give me a lightweight, I'll make lightweight. If they give me a welterweight, I'll make welterweight. That my division, my focus is the welterweight, because I believe that there's no man on earth that if you sign a fight to fight me at welterweight, and even with issues or no issues, I will be victorious. You know, like that's how I think, because I perform very well with welterweight, and I work very hard at welterweight. I do not have any problem. I have not lost a fight at welterweight. The only fight that I've lost to at lightweight, which is something that I can't do personally. Like I look like I might be a small welterweight, but for me, it's hard on my body to be cutting to lightweight and stuff like that. I don't feel like myself, you know, how I feel at welterweight. The guys might look bigger, might look muscular and stuff like that, but I've not fought one welterweight that I came out of the fight and say he was stronger than me. And that's my focus. My focus is going all the way in the welterweight division. My dream fight is to fight Kamaru Usman in Africa and take the belt from him. It will be like a big brother passing the torch to a young brother, you know. I wish him nothing but the best, you know. I want him to keep winning, because once I get there, I'm gonna fight. In 12 months, I'm gonna be clocking 6 fights, man. I'm not going to be fighting for wins. I'll be fighting for everything, man. Like like I'm telling you, I've got a chip on my shoulder, which I'm gonna use in a nice way. I'm gonna destroy guys. When I get there, I'm going to destroy guys, and I'm going to go all the way. And I want to fight. I wish nothing for Kamaru but the best. I want him to keep winning his fights. For him, he just have to win 3 fights. For me, realistically, I have to win like 6 fights or 5 fights maximum. 5 fights, 6 fights in a row. But the way I see it, like I put it out there, that my first fight is going to be fighting a guy that is already a big name there. It will be a short notice fight. And I'll be fighting a guy that is a big name, and I'll make my impact straight away. And they'll take notice, and they'll throw me to the sharks, and I'll handle it.
Themba, do you have a MMA crystal ball that you can see all this? Because so far, everything you've predicted has come true. I mean, when I first met you, you said I'm going to be champion one day at the EFC, and that's happened.
Yeah.
And this laser focus is incredible. But I've got to ask you, you know, there's a lot in the news about Usman and Conor McGregor going head to head. What do you make of that fight?
I see. Like I told you, Kamaru is going to win. He's going to keep winning. He's going to keep winning. I feel it in my heart that Kamaru is going to win. He's going to win. He's going to keep winning. He's going to keep winning. Me and him, we've got a date. I feel that way. That's how I see it. I wish him nothing but the best because it will be good for me to take the belt from him. And Conor McGregor, if I was Conor, I wouldn't take that fight because it will put him like 3 steps back, you know, because Kamaru is not as much as people think XYZ about Kamaru. He's not a dumb guy. He's a smart fighter. He has got better fight IQ than Conor. Conor might be popular and might be XYZ like people think he is, but the power is just too much. And Kamaru won't be as stupid as he was in the Kobe Covington fight where he fought first 2 rounds in southpaw, trying to prove a point. He's gonna fight to win. And you know, if you fight Conor, you win, you make money. So he's an African guy. He's from Nigeria. You know, Nigeria loves money. So he's going to do whatever it takes for him to win, bro. Yeah, bro. Like that's how I see it. He's gonna do whatever it takes. He's not going there to entertain people, man. He's going to do what is needed to win.
I think it's truly. Sorry, yes, say that again.
No, carry on. You got to love this quarantine Zoom style broadcasting.
yeah. Listen, I think it's quite an interesting fight. Again, we saw what Khabib did to Conor in terms of the wrestling. Excuse me. You know, Kamar's a Division 1 wrestler in the US. He was a Division 1 wrestler in the US. He was an All-American. His wrestling game is next level. He also hits like a truck, and he's a big welterweight. We spoke about this. He walks around 205 pounds. You know, he's just he's a genetic specimen. He's a strong human being. I think he's going to pose too many threats for Conor. But then you never know. And this is Conor McGregor we're talking about. He could knuckle dust him and put him to sleep. You know, does that happen? Does he have the grappling ability? Does he have the wrestling ability? Most definitely not to step in there with Kamar. We know that. We've seen Kamar handle some of the best wrestlers in that division and just toss them around. You saw what he did to Tyron Woodley, and I just don't see Conor being able to handle that. I just don't see that fight going through anyway. I mean, I don't know. Is it signed? Have they confirmed that it's signed?
No,
just a hearsay.
I don't think it's going to happen, man. Conor is not a stupid guy either. He's not going to take that fight. It's a risk fight for him. What I think Conor would do probably is drag Masvidal to lightweight. That's how I see it. Like he's gonna drag Masvidal to lightweight because he's in the A side. You know, he can decide, hey, I want to fight with you, Masvidal, but at lightweight. Masvidal will take it because you know what? He's fought lightweight before, and it's also for the money. And that's I think that's what Conor is all about. Until maybe he gets one more boxing fight or something. You know, he's a businessman.
You don't think Masvidal is going to fight Nate Diaz again for the BMF belt again?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that fight was it was a great fight. It was fantastic, but Nate just didn't look like he was in the right space to be in there against that guy. Look, Masvidal's striking is just the next level. He's vicious. He grew up in fighting in the backyards, bare knuckle.
Garreth. I watched that fight. Bro. He's not that good.
Listen, you
know what he did well. He did well on knocking out those 2 guys. But you know, like for me, obviously he's a welterweight, and I wouldn't say anything nice about him.
I want to kill
because obviously I'll be idolizing him. So for me, when I watch that fight, I watch and visualizing what I would do to him. He was not that good, man. Like, come on, I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Thames, if you want to be the champion of the world, no one's good.
Yeah, for me personally, the only thing we are managed by the same management company. That's the only reason I can't say anything really about him. And obviously, like for me to get like my part of my into the UFC thing is through him as well. Like I respect that and I like that, but you know, it's he's not that good, bro. Like, come on.
I think that's interesting because Themba's picking his words very cleverly and carefully with his next move in line. It brings me to this weekend. This weekend, Tyron Woodley against Gilbert Burns. Garreth, I know you're a Burns fan. You like the look of him. How do you see that one going out in fight night this weekend in Vegas?
Yeah, look. So again, Woodley, big, strong guy, probably a little bit bigger than Burns. Woodley, he's too obsessed with that right hand. I think guys have started to figure that out. He's lucky in that he has the wrestling to go with that. You know, he's going to try and suck Burns into that confrontation. Burns, we know what a master is on the floor. Incredibly good jits guy, got a good wrestling base. But you saw his striking against Damian Maia. He just sucked in that right hand, slipped off it, and threw an incredible hook. And it was so natural in the way that he threw it. It didn't look like he was a ground fighting guy who has this ground background. He looked like a striker. And again, he's just got this aura about himself. He's got this confidence, a lot like Themba has. You know, he believes 100% in himself and his ability, and he backs himself. And I think we're in for a really good fight. I think Tyron has to fight an incredibly smart fight. I think he has to win if he wants to put his hand up for a title shot. I think if he loses this fight, it's going to push him down the rankings, and I think he's going to have a tough time finding himself back to the top. Yeah, interesting. But my money's definitely on Burns. I think he's going to outdo Woodley on the night, and he's an interesting guy to watch.
Themba, your thoughts?
I think the same thing might happen because, you know, like with Burns, actually I've never watched him fight until I had to watch this Damian Maia fight of his. He's very, very good on the ground. He's one of the guys that actually could handle Damian Maia's jiu-jitsu, you know, like when Damian Maia mounted him, he managed to escape so easily, like nothing has happened. Like, I don't know how he had this thing, like he wanted to go for a single leg. He got mounted, then he switched like from being mounted to like a single leg to up, and the power that when he threw that, it was a left hook actually. When he threw that left hook, it seemed like effortless really. It was just natural power in his genes, I think. And not so many guys have knocked out Damian Maia, man. Like he's one of the guys that actually has not been knocked out a lot of times. And having no stand-up like him, you should think that he has been knocked out many times, but only few guys have managed to knock him out. So I personally think Tyron Woodley's days a little bit numbered now, and Burns has got that new hunger and that new band, that new breed type of fight. And actually, Burns has got more fights and wins in the UFC than Tyron Woodley, because I think he's got 11 wins, 3 losses, and Tyron Woodley's got 9 wins and 3 losses. So I think I would go with Burns on this one.
Jorino. You're picking Jorino to beat the chosen one. And these are two guys.
Yourself, who do you think?
Oh, I must say I like Woodley. I've been a fan of his. I like the way he just pushes the pace. But from what I've seen from Burns, I think he's going to make it very difficult. I think this whole fight card is very close to call. If you think of some of the other fights on this card, it's going to be a competitive night. And it's great to see because the last few UFC events we've seen, I mean, Garreth and I have spoken to him at length. It's been so competitive that you've had to have the judges come in and then you've had controversial stoppages and things like that. So it's had it all. So I can't wait for this one to get underway this weekend. And then it's just non-stop UFC action from this weekend going until the end of July. It's just absolutely fantastic. But any other fights?
The card is tough.
Yeah, the card is very tough. Is there any other fights that you guys are getting excited about on this fight night in Vegas? Garreth, I mean, looking at some of the heavyweights, we've also got the woman in action with Mackenzie Dern and Hannah Cyphers. There's some close fights coming up.
So look, I think the ladies' fight is quite interesting. Mackenzie being a world champion, I think she has really made a lot of fighters look very average once she makes connection. Her jiu-jitsu is incredibly slick, and I think it's just kind of at that level where it's just too good for the ladies that she is fighting. I think once she moves up the ranks, I think it could be a little bit different. I forget now the rest of the card. Who else have we got on there? Sias?
You've got Roosevelt Roberts, Brock Weaver, Kevin Holland, Daniel Rodriguez, and Blagoy Ivanov against Augusto Sakai, the heavyweight. So yeah, that's pretty much the main fights to look forward to. And then in terms of the prelims, I know there's a guy who's caught my eye, and just purely because of his nickname. He's the Ginger Alpha, or the Alpha Ginger.
Alpha Ginger.
Yeah.
I think is it Spates or something like that? I'll have to find out. I'll tell you now. Let's have a look here. He is Spike Carlisle. He's the Alpha Ginger. So he automatically gets. I'll tell you now. He automatically gets my vote in this one. Let's have a look here. Hold on a second. Both of these guys are 1-0 in the UFC. 145 pounds. So these guys are pretty new, but I mean, come on, just with a nickname like that, you have to back this guy to win against Quartillo. But yeah,
that's an interesting thing. I think we haven't. There's guys in there that I haven't heard of, and that's how quickly the game changes. I mean, 1 minute it's this guy, next minute it's that. Ikolov, I think he lost recently to it was Walters. I think he was one of the guys that lost to Walters, if I stand to be corrected.
I think so, yeah, I think so.
I think he got knocked out by Walters. I think he's a crafty, old school mentality. He's a tough guy, and he poses a serious threat. He's got good heavy hands, but I know he's got fantastic judo as well. Which is, we don't see a lot of top class judo fighters. They just pop up every now and again. I think it'll be good to see some new names on the card, see some new faces, see what kind of talent the UFC is bringing through. You're right. The cards from now till July are stacked.
I want to ask something.
Yeah.
There is the Danny Hooker fight and Dustin Poirier. Is it really going to happen?
So from what I hear, they're working hard behind the scenes to get it done. I've chatted with some of the guys that I trained with in New Zealand, and they say it's a fight that he really wants. He believes that if he beats Dustin, he's 100% puts himself in title contention. And I know that they're really, really trying to make that happen. That'll be a great fight. I rate.
I think it's already on the card. It's on the 27th of June.
You could be Tim. You could be 100% correct. You could be 100% correct.
Yeah, I saw something on the internet. Obviously, like for me, now I've decided, like I'm not going to watch these guys the only guys I'm going to check out is like the welterweights. But I've decided, you know what, for me to go all the way, I mustn't watch these guys and try idolize them. So like if I stumble upon a UFC fight, cool, but I'm not going to be doing that. So that's why I don't even know what's happening with this card on the weekend. The only reason I watched this one, because obviously they are welterweights. Whatever his name is, and Tyron Woodley. But for me, that's how I've been thinking. So I also saw that thing on the internet that they fight, the Dan Hooker and thing is fighting. So I thought maybe Dana will know something we don't. But I know that in the next 30 to 90 days, they might be allowing people to fly and fight there. I don't know. I just overheard.
But on this weekend, the women's, old Cejudo's combatant that he was loudly shouting out about Shevchenko, her sister's fighting on the card. She's also somebody to watch from the very talented group of people. And then, of course, 250 Nunez, the lady killer.
Yeah.
The lady killer's back.
We'll get into.
I hope she doesn't lose, man. I hope she doesn't lose. I hope she doesn't lose.
I just don't see giving her any trouble at all. She's too good. She's just too strong.
Rock, paper, scissors. You remember the rock, paper, scissors in the same division? There was a rock, paper, scissors. Ronda Rousey beat Mesa Tate. Mesa Tate beats who did Mesa Tate beat?
Beat Holly
Holm. Then Holly Holm beat Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
So that might be the rock, paper, scissors. Because I think this chick has fought what's his name? What's the name? Chris Cyborg. If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
So that's my biggest worry. I'm like, I hope it doesn't happen that way. Because now it's gone full. It can go full circle. You never know.
The thing is, as we both know, Thames, there's nothing guaranteed in any fight. You can be the best fighter in the world. You can be an absolute killer, and somebody comes along and it's just their night and they put you away. So yeah, it's true. You would always put your money on Nunez, but who knows? Maybe we see a massive upset there. I think that's the card that Dan Hooker. I think that's the card UFC 50 is Dan Hooker. I think he's on that card.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I mean,
I'm worried about that. I'm worried about that fight. That fight might If you have $100 to spare, put it on the other girl, Felicia's Spencer, because she might cause the biggest upset in UFC history, I think.
Yeah.
We'll hold you to that, Themba, when we chat again. We're going to come to the end of the show, unfortunately, and we got Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland has pulled out of UFC Fight Night this weekend with an undisclosed injury, so it shakes up the fight card a little bit, but still, Tyron Woodley.
What division?
Gilbert Burns.
What division is Kevin Holland?
Yeah, Kevin Holland is. I'll tell you now. I'm just trying to find out. Is he not like he's welterweight? Welterweight. He was meant to make his welterweight debut.
You wish like you were in America.
I was gonna say, could have been had your number. He could have had your number.
Tim's phone. If we have to hire a jet, we'll hire one. Phone them and tell them you're ready. Tell them I'm coming.
No, the thing is, I can't go out of this country, man. Like, I kind of got offered a fight on the 16th of April, but I was also injured. That went all around and stuff like that. Obviously, the Khabib card, then the card was moved completely to the 9th of May. Then the whole thing, Corona happened. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, but the future looks bright, man. Like, it will be good. Don't worry. It will be good.
Well, we're going to have to leave it there, gentlemen. I have no doubt, Themba Gorimbo, that the future is bright for you. Gareth and I will be closely watching everything that happens. We wish you all the best.
Yeah, man. Nice.
And
thank you very much for inviting me, man.
No, well, keep up doing Zimbabwe and African MMA proud, because I know that your story is incredible from where you started. I know you don't want to talk about those dark days to where you are now. It's a new chapter and a new focus. So thank you for your time. Gareth, we're going to have to end it there. Where can people get you on social media, Themba?
They can follow me on Instagram. That's where I'm more active, like Themba Gorimbo _MMA. Facebook, I'm not really active there, but I'm more active on Instagram, now on Twitter. But yeah, mostly Instagram. If people want to follow me or want to have a chat and stuff like that, we can talk.
Themba, thanks for your time. Gareth, we all know what your social media handles are. Soldier Boy Inc., if I'm not mistaken, right?
Correct, at Soldier Boy Inc. Insta,
there you go.
Twitter, grab me
all
there.
Those things. I just want a big shout out.
When are you starting to training, Gareth?
Good question.
Sorry?
Good question.
This,
When I said,
you know me, I'm an old man now. I'm a working man. But as soon as the lockdown's out, I'm definitely going to be putting some time back on the mat. I miss it desperately. So I don't know. Let's see from there. Let's get on the mat and do some training, and let's see where that takes me.
Are you waiting for a? Are you waiting for a Paulo Costa text, Gareth?
I'll still go. I told you this morning. If they called me and said Paulo needs an opponent, you're up. I'm in. 100%. He's a big, strong guy. I've been in there with big, strong guys. I've been hit very hard.
Yeah, you fought Paulo Costa, huh?
Yes, that's correct. I've been hit very hard many times, so that kind of thing doesn't scare me. Would I like another crack at him? 100%.
I still want to see
that guy has got self-confidence for days, man. I like his confidence.
He's got terrible shirts though. Terrible shirts.
Something in his muscles. Something in his muscles.
I still want to see a rematch with a certain Brendan Lazar.
Yeah, look, a fight I would definitely take if the opportunity presented itself. Yeah, I mean, I don't believe that should be the end of the story. Like I said, let me get in, do some hard work, and see where it goes from there.
All right, guys,
But
thank you very much.
Gareth, why would you want to have a rematch with Brendan Lazar?
Why would I not want to have a rematch with Brendan Lazar, Themba?
No, like for me, like you don't have anything to prove. I mean, there's a score to settle, but you know, like what I always say to guys, don't fight for. It's not for bragging rights. We know you, Gareth. You know what we have achieved. If you have to do something else, do that, bro. Like you don't have to put yourself in a position where it's like now it's bragging rights. No, man, come on, bro. Do a fight when you want to fight. Don't let us put you in a position where you are forced to have a fight with someone. You know what I'm saying? Don't fight for bragging rights. You have achieved more than anybody in Africa continent currently. You know, like you've gone all the way, and you're Gareth McKellen. You know, like who doesn't know the guy with the beard who fights the EFC? You know what I'm saying?
Nah, thanks, James. But I think it's just a little voice in the back of my head that constantly talks to me. But I mean, hey, like I said, it's not something I'm chasing. If it presented itself and it was worth it, yeah, 100%, we could talk about it. For me, I love MMA. I want to be back in the environment where I'm getting punched in the teeth a little bit and a bit of.
You can come here.
James and I have done a fair amount of rounds together. Don't you worry.
All right, guys, we're going to have to leave it there. We're running out of time. Thank you very much. Remember to like and subscribe on YouTube. Thank you very much. And Gareth, we'll chat again next week after Fight Night in Las Vegas. It's Woodley against Burns. Thanks for your time.
Let's go. Come on. This forever. No surrender. Yeah. You know that this right here forever. And there will be no surrender.
Now allow me to reintroduce myself. They call me J-O-N to the easy E-N. Know that we undefeated. Y'all are beneath them speeches trying to air a grievance. But his lines are overhead. Better check the air for clearance. Call the tower. This is ours. Clear the heat. The air apparent. Really, I've never been better. Legacy, this is forever. All the more times I've been severed. I'm raising the bar. You can go ahead and measure. Think about time for a toast. Time that we welcome to go. Yo, we're just leaving a note. This right here forever.